I'm also Pharma graduate, 2024 batch. I'm also looking for a job in clinical research, so I joined.
Same formative competition. Okay, very good. Okay, students. Today we are going to discuss about what is the introduction. I'll repeat it like introduction of clinical research. And already we have discussed about what is drug development, and we'll discuss about what are the phases of important phases of clinical trials, and what is the history of clinical research, like how it is implemented, like from past to till now, and we'll discuss what are the types of clinical trials and where we will conduct clinical trials. What do you mean by clinical research? Clinical research, anyone?
To assure the safety and quality of drug product.
Yeah, main thing is to get the safety, quality of the drug. Like clinical research is the scientific study and research that evaluates the effectiveness, efficacy, safety, risk and benefits of medications, devices, diagnostic products and treatment regimens which are intended for human use. Like it is the scientific study and research that evaluates, main thing is like what is the effectiveness of the drug? What do you mean by the word effectiveness?
The frequency.
No. Effectiveness means 40 students.
40 students.
Yes. Can anyone differentiate what is the difference between effectiveness and efficacy? Yesterday I also said effectiveness means like what is the effect like after taking the medication, like what is the effect of the drug. Efficacy means the maximum strength, like ability of the drug. This is the basic difference between effectiveness and efficacy. Okay, it is the scientific study and research that evaluates the effectiveness. It will give the effectiveness and efficacy, and also main thing safety, risk, what are the risks and challenges, and also benefits, what are the benefits of medications, and also it will be helpful for any kind of medical devices, diagnostic products and treatment regimens which are intended for human use. This is the like definition, proper standard definition for clinical research. Please go through this. Again I am repeating, and the next one is drug development. How the drug is going to come to market? Any idea? This is the overview of drug development, how it is going to come to market. Anybody? Yes. Before coming to the clinical trials, first where we will see this drug, like which is the first phase?
There are, I think, 5 phases. It starts from phase 0 to the phase.
Yes. Yes. First we will see animals, that is known as preclinical. Like drug discovery, preclinical, and after that IND. What is the full form of IND? Investigational New Drug Application. Yes, yes. First we will see preclinical. After preclinical, after done with this IND, like clinical studies, that is known as like phase 1, phase 2, that is into our humans, like at phase 3. Then after that we need to get this new drug application. Then after final phase, like phase 4 is known as PMS, post marketing surveillance. That is like the drug is ready for the market. This is the process, like preclinical, clinical, then PMS. Is it clear? And what is the objective of clinical trials? Means main thing, like in phase 1 study, like we'll take only the person like 20 to 100 healthy volunteers, like those who are interested to participate in the study. For those students, I mean those volunteers, independent volunteers only we will take. Okay, in phase 1 to check, main thing is to check the safety, and phase 2 means both safety as well as efficacy. Here we are going to take around 100 to 500 patients, and phase 3 1000 to 5000 patients, and PMS means final. This is here we are not going here, only the thing is drug will enter into the market. This PMS is like lost post marketing surveillance trials. This is the fourth, I mean like completely the drug is ready to sell in the market. This is how the process: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Before that it happens in preclinical. Is it clear, students? Yeah, thank you. Yesterday we discussed earlier, and these are the few historical events in clinical research, like before, like how it was in our ancient days, how clinical trials, like who took, like there are few scientists who worked for clinical research, and what are the contributions of this, like themselves, like they have given for knowledge sake. Please go through this. This is the flow chart, please go through it, and it is continued. Clinical research and clinical trial is a fundamental tool of modern medicine, and clinical research and clinical trial is the medical invention that has contributed to nearly all of the life-saving medicines we know today. These medicines have like added 10 years to our life expectancy, and made organ transplants possible, and made diabetes a manageable condition, extended the life expectancy of AIDS patients, and prolonged the lives of millions of cancer patients. Like what is the benefit of having clinical research? Can anyone? Benefits of having clinical research. One, please, one by one. Please go ahead.
To avoid the side effects of it.
Yes, to avoid the side effects of drug. Then, like what are the benefits that we get from having clinical trials? Why it is necessary? What is the purpose? What benefits we get from clinical research, clinical trials in the market?
Sometimes to know other uses of the drug than other than its intended use.
Yes, very good answer. It is there in slide also. You can tell generally, like what are the benefits?
To avoid adverse effects.
Yes, to avoid adverse effects.
To have more
Yeah, like we'll get more advanced technology, like yeah, for that also. Yes. Yeah. It added 10 years to our life expectancy, and also because of this organ transplants will happen, and it made diabetes as a manageable condition, and prolonged the lives of millions of cancer patients. These are the few benefits of the clinical research. And where we generally conduct clinical trials? Anyone? Clinical trials, where we generally conduct?
Hospitals.
Hospitals, yes.
Research centers.
Research centers. Then students, online students, where we conduct clinical trials. Yes. Oh, please little louder. Can you speak little louder?
No.
Yes, please. Yes. No, I'm asking where we will conduct clinical trials. We'll see in hospital labs. Yes, different private organization. We will see, like we'll conduct clinical trials. This is the basic like clinical research history, like before Christ. We'll go through this. Like in the year of 1500 BC, before Christ, Egyptian documented their prescriptions, but there was no proof they have worked. Here in the year of 1500 BC, I mean before Christ, in clinical research, like Egyptian documented their prescriptions. The Egyptians, they documented their prescriptions in their proper way. But we don't have any kind of evidence, but there was no proof they have worked. We don't have any evidence that they worked on that like in the year of 1500 BC. And in 600 BC, the Daniel of Judah has conducted the comparative trial, comparison of vegetarian diet with royal Babylonian diet. In the year of 600 BC, the Daniel of Judah, like he has conducted the comparative trial. What do you mean by the word comparative trial? Yes, comparing one study like with other. Yeah. Here, the Daniel of Judah, he has conducted the comparative trial study and comparison of vegetarian diet with royal Babylonian diet, like he has done. And after that, in the year of 1700s, the surgeon James Lind discovered that citrus food prevented scurvy, and also he conducted world's first controlled clinical trial. Like in the year of 1754, Surgeon James Lind discovered that citrus fruit. What do you mean by citrus fruit? Yeah, lemon or like any kind of citric in nature. Yes, that citrus fruit prevented scurvy. Yes. Yes, and he conducted. Yes, and he conducted world's first controlled clinical trial. Like who? Surgeon James. This was the contribution made by Surgeon James towards clinical research. And in the year 1796, Edward Jenner conducted the famous trial that proved inoculation could prevent smallpox. Smallpox means what? Smallpox. I think everyone heard that smallpox, right? Yeah. In the year of 1796, the scientist known as Edward Jenner, he conducted the famous trial that proved inoculation from his end could prevent smallpox. And he was the first person, he was the first step toward mass vaccinations that conquered epidemics such as typhoid, yellow fever, polio, and measles. He took the first initiative toward mass vaccinations that conquered epidemics such as typhoid, yellow fever, and also polio and measles. Which scientist means Edward Jenner in the year of 1796. These are the contributions of the Edward Jenner. These are the history, we should know what are the contributions they have done to us. And clinical research history in the year of 1863. The Austin Flint used the placebo for the first time in clinical research. What do you mean by the word placebo? Placebo means?
The medication with no result.
Yes. Placebo means inactive pill, which is inactive in nature. That we will say placebo. Who means Austin Flint? He used the placebo for the first time in clinical research. This will be asking so many times. Who used the placebo for the first time in clinical research? Means Austin Flint. After 18 is done, 18 till 1860, then clinical research it started, it is implemented, how clinical research history in the year of 1900s. In the year of 1906, the Food and Drug Act prohibiting interstate commerce in adulterated, and in the year of 1912, first regulations against false therapeutic claims, US product labeling laws enacted, and in the year of 1924, first use of randomization in a clinical trial by Anderson in a pulmonary tuberculosis trial, and in the year of 1946, British epidemiologist Sir Austin Bradford, he put patients into experimental and controlled groups at random, eliminated any bias. These are the contributions till 1946. 1906, what happened is the Food and Drug Act, prohibiting, what do you mean by adulterants?
Mixing.
Yes, along with food potting. Yes.
Unwanted chemicals.
Yes, very good. Yes, they took action in the year of 1906 for the Food and Drug Act. And in the year of 1912, the first Regulations Act false therapeutic claims, US products labeling laws enacted. This act when happened means in the year of 1912. What do you mean by regulations? Regulations means what?
Set of rules.
Yes, a set of rules, ethics, rules and regulations, guidelines for the certain act. For anything we'll say regulations. When it happened is in the year of 1912, the first regulations against false therapeutic claims, that is known as US product labeling laws enacted. This Food and Drug Act in the year of 1906 and 1912 US product labeling laws. And in the year of 1924, the first use of randomization in a clinical trial by Amberson, who the person known as Amberson, he was the first use of randomization in a clinical trial by Amberson in a pulmonary tuberculosis trial. This was the contribution done by Amberson. What do you mean by randomization? Comparing. Very good.
Test results are given randomly to the selected patients.
Yes, yes.
Without any specific.
That we have given randomly, that we will be comparing. Like who has done this? Amberson in a pulmonary tuberculosis trial in the year of 1924. Yes? No, not to learn, but you should know like what happened. See, like if anyone has like a no, not that like I'm not telling you to buy it. Just you need to know. Knowing is different. Learning, buyeting is different. And in the year of 1946, because if anyone asks like how we got independence, we know like how we got, what are the struggles, challenges like our previous freedom fighter has faced. That like for that sake, like we should know like what is the history of clinical research. Is it clear, students? Yes. And in the year of 1946, the British epidemiologist Sir Aston Bradford, he put patients into experimental and control groups at random, eliminated any bias. What do you mean by bias?
Just a systematic error.
Yes, very good. Here, the British epidemiologist Sir Aston Bradford, he will put patients into experimental and control groups at random, eliminated any bias, like any kind of error. The person known as Sir Aston Bradford, he put patients into experimental and control groups at random, eliminated any bias, like in the year of 1946. Again, it is continued. And in the year of 1938, the first regulation for requirement of drug safety database, US Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act, the first multi-center studies employing the same protocol and thus enabled pooling of data to increase statistical power. When is this US Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act? When it happened? Drug and Cosmetics Act.
US 1930. India 1940.
1940. Yeah. In the year of 1938, what happened is the first regulation, first law for requirement of drug safety database, that is for US Food, Drug and Drug Cosmetic Act. It was happened in the year of 1938, and the first multi-center studies employing the same protocol, and thus enabled the pooling of data to increase statistical power. Again, the history is continued. The Nuremberg Code. What do you mean by the word Nuremberg Code? Anyone? Okay. This is the code like they have given like in the year of 1947, like for each trials, like they have implemented in the year of, they worked for this Nuremberg Code, and going forward I'll explain what it is. And in the year of 1962, Kafer-Harris drug amendment, which required proof of efficacy required for new drug approval in addition to safety. Students, these are all for knowledge sake. Please go through the slides. And with the establishment of guidelines for ethical clinical trial conduct and regulations for drug development, more than 1090 novel drug therapies have been approved by the FDA, that is Food and Drug Administration. That's virtually all the medicines used today. Like how many drugs it is going to approved by the FDA? More than 1090 novel drug therapies have been approved by the Food and Drug Administration. That's virtually all the medicines which we are using today. And this is all about the history of the clinical research. Till here, any doubts, students? Major difference in clinical research, only clinical trials will come. Clinical research is a subject. It is a subject. Trial means what we are investing. We are working on the trial, each individual. Yes, yes, both are one only. In research, trials will come. This thalidomide episode in late 50s and early 60s, what is the thalidomide means? Drug prescribed to pregnant women for morning sickness, and instead the drug caused severe deformities in babies with missing limbs, and estimated that over 3,500 babies died before their first birthday, and some were born with internal deformities. Have you heard about this thalidomide incident? What exactly? What is the drawback of this thalidomide?
Ma'am, I think it happened in Australia.
Yes. Yes, yes. Fetal abnormalities. Main drawback.
The babies were born with some missing arms and legs.
Yes, arms and legs. This became the most important tragedy in the PD also, in our clinical trials also. Everybody heard about this thalidomide incident now. Yeah. And next we'll discuss about types of clinical trials. How it is categorized. Can anyone tell what are the types of clinical trials? On what basis we categorized? Yes. Yes, yes. See, these are the types of clinical trials. Clinical trials for prevention, during prevention time, and during screening and diagnosis, and in the time of treatment and quality of life. How it is categorized, there are two types. The first one is observational studies and investigational study. In observational study, what is the difference between observational and investigational? Observational studies means what?
You can observe the symptoms.
Yeah, symptoms, and what is the outcome of the study. Only we can't do any kind of modifications from our end. Only the thing is we will able to observe in observational study. In investigational study, on the basis of this drug or supplement or medical devices or procedure or technique. Investigational. There are two types, that is observational study and investigational. This is the basic classification. These are the types of clinical trials. Observational study, and I said this experimental, descriptive, analytical, uncontrolled group, control. Then after that, non-randomized and randomized. The next one is who runs clinical trial and where. I already explained. Where we will conduct, who is going to run clinical trials and where we will conduct main clinical trials. Anyone?
Please put some more insight in previous slide.
Sorry?
Okay. Well, as we discussed that clinical trials have two types, one is observational and
Interventional.
So,
Yes.
previously observation was there and now it is
No, like this is the proper one. Clinical trial, observational and interventional or experimental. Again, it is in observational, it is categorized into descriptive and analytical studies. And interventional, again, uncontrolled and controlled groups. And after that, again, it is categorized into non-randomized and randomized.
what is the difference between these two for your observational and analytical and the other one? What is it? And which kind of trials are being used?
Yes, I'll explain, please. Please write down the notes for this one. Types of clinical trial. Please write down the heading. Please write down types of clinical trials, observational and experimental study. Now for observational study, please write down researchers observe participants without intervening. Yes. Researchers observe participants without intervening. And write down for the experimental studies also. Researchers intervene, INTE or VENE, intervene with a treatment. Researchers intervene the treatment in experimental study, interventional studies. Okay, done with observational and experimental. And next, please write down descriptive study, because you should know which study carries what. Write down heading descriptive study. A descriptive study is a research method that aims to accurately to accurately and comprehensively describe a phenomenon, population or situation. Like when we are doing this descriptive study, like in observational study means, exactly it shows like what we are working for, like any kind of what is the main objective, like it shows the accuracy and also it describes a phenomenon and what is the population. Descriptive means it will give exact clarity in observational study. And write down the heading analytical study. Analytical study is a research method. It's a research method that aims is an analytical study is a research method that aims to AIMS, that aims to analyze